Let's get back to work again. Okay, hands down. It's been a while. After trying to fit the HKS exhaust to the car, it was a no-go. It should have been plug and play and just go from there, but obviously it seems like that the US spec differential is different from the Euro spec car that my car is, and the exhaust has been actually ordered from the US, so it's built upon US spec cars or 350 sets. So it didn't work out like you can guess, and eventually after struggling for I think 1 or 2 hours with the mid pipe, I realized that, and I searched the internet for a while and I found out that it's not stacking up, so I can't use it as it is. The mid pipe basically is like too narrow for the differential. Let me show you guys. So basically it is that one over there. It has these fins for the cooling, and it's more wider, at least that I measured it. So the mid pipe, there's no way it can go through. Even though I could fit that side in, this other side would not go because there is this knob in the middle of the differential, so it's impossible to get it aligned, even though it's so close to the differential, but it's impossible to fit in there. So that being said, this is now the fixed one. So this part had to be adjusted, and it wasn't as easy as it sounds. Well, let's go take a look. Yeah.
Viivuodessahan suoraan suurin piirtein. Uveksit päähän.
Näyttää heti paljon ammattimaisemmalta.
Tää on vähän kuin ollaan näin Matti Nykäsen kotiseudulla.
3 places. So one is here, and one is here. So, and change the mid parts around, and then make a small addition to this joint here. So this is new pipe that you can see. The welds are a bit not that clean in this, because the pipes were so thin that whenever you made a tick there, it basically burned through it. So that's the downside of the light pipes that usually is being used in the exhaust systems. But in any case, that's the new part. I can attach it now there, but like you can see, it wasn't that easy, and we still have to do some fitment. When that pipe is on, this side is like 1 or 2 centimeters more high, so we still need to cut one of the attachment points there and just bring it down so that they are horizontally aligned basically. And also, when we did the fitting, there were these plastic parts on either side, so these needed to be removed from the car for better fitment for these rear end exhausts. But now they look nice, and at least they are in place. So hopefully somebody can find this information useful. I also thought that it was just plug and play, so just put it on the car, remove the old one and put the new on the car, but it's not like that. In that sense, I'm a bit eager to see this exhaust in this car, but still the required work and welding that needed to be done underneath the car, I don't know if it was worth it. And now it's not like the original one, it has been modified, but this is what comes to the car building part of the project, so I'm not surprised, but still it would be nice just to get some refund from the exhaust, because it was sold as a bolt-on exhaust. But let's see how it goes.
Always use copper grease in the RST exhaust joints, or with the lugs and nuts, because they after some time they just get so stuck that you can never get them off without cutting them. So I'm gonna use copper paste in the threads. Okay, so I forgot about the double shimming, so I need to take those out again. Put one there in addition. This is now completely done. You can see it actually from here. That's how it should be shimmed. And you can see the knob where it was previously hitting, so like you can see, that's how it should be. So I'm a bit amazed that it wasn't originally done like that, because if it would have been, it would have been fitting all the different specification cars like US and Europe. So I don't know why they did it like they did it, but that's the way it should have been done. So now it's actually looking very good. The clearance is looking absolutely brilliant now. It's not hitting anywhere anymore. Missä nukkumassa? En oo ollut missään, minä olen nukkumassa. Missä nukkumassa? No sitähän mä just kysyin. Mitä kysyin? Että olitte tuolla nukkumassa? No moro, soittelit.
Okay, here's the deal. The new mid pipe is in place, and the rear strut bar is basically touching it now. It was all fine when we measured it and made it accordingly, and we had to use those zip ties just to keep those mufflers in place. And now when I released it, it came down like 1 or 2 centimeters, and now we have a problem. So the new mid pipe or the modified mid pipe is basically not good under the car.
So one idea I need to raise it up from the midsection of the pipe somehow, is just to modify this mid hanger. This is not the original rubber, so like you can see it's not completely fitting this, so I need to just narrow it down a bit, but normally it's hanging like that, so I want to change it like that and modify the bracket so that I can attach it. I think it would work, because if we measured it, the distance here is like something like 3.5 centimeters, and if we change the location of the rubber like that, or the rotation, it should be 1 centimeter, so that you should raise the other side of the mid pipe like 2 centimeters, so it should at least lift it somewhat for the other side, also the passenger side, that is now the problem basically. So we are that close. I'm hoping this would make enough clearance so that the sway bar on the back would rotate normally, so when the car shifts the balance on the back side of the car, then basically it causes more rotation. So I think 1 or 2 centimeter clearance to the pipe actually would do the trick, so let's try that one next. Almost made a mistake and almost started grinding there in the storage room where I basically keep all my firewood. So now the opposite piece should be able to fit there, but let's try it. Looks perfect. And this should basically bring this pipe up so that this problem goes like that, and now it's not a problem anymore. So now it's a problem, it's hitting, now it's not. There's enough clearance. So I'm trying to raise this one up. You raise me up. Getting a bit lunatic with this problem already. Now the part is in place. Clearance is good. Let's see how this affects the situation. That now seemed to do the trick for a while. It's now actually a couple of centimeters higher from here. So now there's plenty of clearance actually in here also. But the problem now is that how it was designed is a bit different than this angle, so I need to change that bracket to go more that way, so I can get these guys aligned before I tighten them up, and hope that there is enough room if I pull it with force and it's not hitting anyway. So that's good clearance, excellent clearance. Even though it's now hitting there a bit, so I might need to do some grinding. Not sure if it zooms correctly, but let's wait a while. Over there. But that is now the next problem. There's like metal parts flying all over the place. One thing that I have to say, that whenever you're changing the parts that should be plug and play parts, and just install them and everything works fine, and it's quite common that when you're building a car that it doesn't work like that, but in any case, whenever you are doing these alignment related issues, it's extremely hard with this dual kind of exhaust systems to get the piping go exactly the straight as it should be after you do some changes in the curves. So that's one of the reasons I'm now currently happy with the alignment of the final exhaust there. It's quite even from the space perspective. This one, it's a bit on the right side, but not that much. Okay, now the last place to fine tune it. If you look at the exhaust ends, you can see that they are not evenly coming out. So there is like only minor clearance here that I can adjust it. So the only option is to push this one inside just a bit to make them even. This looks actually better when it's coming out some, if you compare to this one. So I would like to look it like that, but I still don't have the body kit, so I don't know how it will look like with that one. So at the moment I'm gonna do just a minor visual faking, let's say, just to make it look that they are evenly aligned. Clearly the another side needs to be pushed just outwards a bit. So if we see here, it's around 2 centimeters out, and here it's 2.5. It's quite close. I don't know. There's checked that there's plenty of room in the hangers there, the hanging hooks, to move it, but the only way to move it is basically to extend the mid pipe by 5 millimeters. And I don't know if it's worth it, but if I push the other muffler end inside a bit, it looks maybe a bit stupid before all the black stuff colors it and makes it look even, but I don't know. Anyway, the sway bar is still a problem even if we have to move it, so let's take that problem first. But this is how easy it is to install a exhaust to a exhaust made to a US spec car to Euro spec car. And like I said, it's extremely difficult to get it properly aligned as when you cut the mid pipe off from different places. So let's see how it was actually implemented. So on the driver's side, you can actually see it. So the muffler on the driver's side was too high, so I had to add a couple of shims. It's actually 2 or 3, I recall 3 shims. I started with 5 underneath each, so this is not the proper, you shouldn't do like that, but I didn't have enough steel plates that I could support the whole beam and just create another part there, so I just used shims. I will replace that later, but for now it's properly aligned with that. And if those shims were not in place, the muffler was basically hitting the bumper here, so I could have this lip out, but I don't want to cut it before I get the body kit and see how it actually is sitting there. And in addition, I need to do some cutting also in here on the passenger side. So basically what I had to do, make here a cut. So I took this part off, I didn't have the camera on there. Let's see if it focuses correctly. So I had to cut a piece of the support frame there away. It's not actually a support frame, but it's kind of protecting the brake lines actually from gravel and dirt and stuff like that. So I wanted to keep it on, and this is addition to that. And there's some sort of I think pressure canister inside there. And also I took a piece away from this side of the bracket, like you can see. And I also painted this with 2K paint, so it's primer and zinc paint that is black. So this allowed this knob basically to go over the standard line, so it's a bit more up than it should be. We go a bit up. This is basically the problem part here. I had to use Thermotech tape, so it's kind of a U-shaped tape from both of the sides, so I'm protecting the brake line here. Because there shouldn't be heat this close to this line, so I just in case ordered some Thermotech tape and just used that one. And it's basically just for the 50 centimeters or 20 centimeters. What you can see that it's protected from the heat. Also on the standard side you can see that the line is not protected, but here the pipe is way down, so I just wanted to make sure that the heat is not a problem here. But currently the problem is this one. So the sway bar on the back, on the passenger side, I put a small amount of tape here just to prohibit any rubbing. So anytime this bar basically twists, it's rubbing here to the exhaust, and eventually it will break. So that needs to be fixed. In addition, also I needed to lift the driver's side up. Grab the light up here. So this is a standard rubber bracket that I just modified it. I just turned it from the 90 degrees sideways So basically it's not on the standard plugs or the holes, but it's a bit higher, and now it's basically lifting the whole pipeline up just a bit. And in order to make that, also a small amount of plastic needs to be cut there. But now if we take a look at the whole thing, it's quite good looking, and here we can see there's actually good space, so it's not rubbing here anytime. Looking good in that sense. So everything is now quite aligned and quite ready, but the downside is that the sway bar is there rubbing the pipe, so it's not okay. And I also had to cut like 1 centimeter away from here, so it's like in the middle of the car. If I just show it a bit here. So that's something that I need to do for this pipe.